Friday, 5th of June 2015. Paper highlights. First, let's look at the paper highlights from Daily Mirror. Upul barred from leaving country. Court decision following controversial statement made by SPC Minister on FCID. The Colombo court yesterday directed the control of the Immigration and Emigration to prevent UPFA Southern Provincial Council Minister D.V. Upul from leaving the country. Colombo Additional Magistrate Nirosha Fernando issued this order sequent to a submission by the CID over a controversial statement made by him regarding the Police Financial Crime Investigation Division. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Ban Ki-moon looks forward to 20th A. United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, in a telephone conversation with President Maithripala Sirisena, said he looked forward to the enactment of the 20th Amendment to the Constitution. More highlights from Daily Mirror. Tajuddin's death. Two reports are contradictory. Police. As the analyst's report and the post-mortem report on the death of Raghariti Wasim Tajuddin, who died mysteriously inside a car, appeared to be contradictory, there was suspicion regarding these reports. The CID informed Colombo Additional Magistrate Nishantha Pieris. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Plane handed over to SLAF Museum. A light aircraft belonging to a reputed Sri Lankan aviation engineer and air pilot Ray Vijayawardena was yesterday handed over to the Air Force Museum. State Minister of Defence Ruwan Vijayawardena was the chief guest at the ceremony. The aircraft was taken over by Air Marshal Kolita Gunatilaka. A replica of the aircraft was presented as a memento to engineer Ray Vijayawardena's family by the minister. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. 110 MPs signed no faith motion. The no confidence motion against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, with 110 signatures of opposition members, including ministers, state ministers and deputy ministers, was to be handed over to the Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa last afternoon, despite attempts by the government to thwart it, UNP parliamentarian Manusha Nayanakara said. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Kidnapped engineer relates his experience in Nigeria. His wife said at the airport that she would not allow her husband to go abroad again. Now let's move to the paper highlights from Ceylon today. SLFP crisis deepens. Maitri faction to oust Susil and Anura. In a dramatic turn of events in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, several changes to the party top rung is expected to take place very shortly, as the crisis had deepened within the party rank file, political sources disclosed yesterday. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Susil Mood's plan to boost Mahinda. Plunging the SLFP into a deep crisis, national organizer of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Susil Premajayantha, was reported to have taken an initiative to promote the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa through the party yesterday, party sources revealed. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Sashi makes statement on land deals at FCID. Former Minister Wimal Weerawangsa's wife Sashi Weerawangsa arrived at the Financial Crimes Investigation Division yesterday morning to make a statement regarding a property transaction. She was questioned about some lands and house deals in Kaduvela in which the Weerawangsa family is involved. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Johnston sues Ranil Cabinet for ₹500 million. Former Minister of Internal Trade Johnston Fernando has filed a fundamental rights petition in the Supreme Court against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Cabinet, demanding compensation in an amount of ₹500 million. More highlights from Ceylon today. No politics in temples. The government appeals to all places of religious worships to desist from permitting access to any political party to use such places for political propaganda work. Another highlight from Ceylon today. United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has, in a telephone conversation with President Maithripala Sirisena, yesterday commended the actions of the government since it took office early this year. More highlights from Ceylon today. ₹20 million extortion charges against Devananda. The Jaffna District Lorry Owners Association lodged a complaint with the Anti-Corruption Secretariat against former Minister Douglas Devananda and his Maheshwari Foundation yesterday for extortion amounting to ₹20 million. More highlights from Ceylon today. Produce suspects, not papers. Additional Magistrate warns FCID. Produce suspects involved in financial frauds expeditiously before court without just filling papers and wasting court time. Colombo Additional Magistrate Nishantha Pieris warned the Colombo Financial Crimes Investigation Division in open court. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Vasu returns his ministerial vehicles. UPF MP Vasudeva Nanayakkara has decided to return 2 vehicles given to him by the government because he is no longer a minister. He returned a Land Cruiser and double cab to the Ministry of National Languages and Social Integration on June 3rd. Nanayakara said President Sirisena will not allow former President Mahinda Rajapaksa to contest as an SLFP candidate, and thus it's obvious that Sirisena wants to build a national government with the United National Party. Nanayakara wants a UPFA government and said he had intimated his displeasure about all this to the president. Now let's see the paper highlights from Daily News. Tajuddin death, government analyst JMO report differ. The Criminal Investigations Department informed the Colombo Magistrates Court yesterday that the post-mortem report and the government analyst's report on Wasim Tajuddin's death were contradictory. According to the post-mortem report, carbon monoxide had been found in the body of the rugby player found dead in his car at Kirulapana. However, the government analyst's report on death had stated otherwise, the CID informed the magistrate yesterday. Another highlight from Daily News. UN chief wants 20th A passed in Parliament. President says he will attend General Assembly after forming new government. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, in a telephone conversation with President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday, said he wished to see the 20th Amendment being passed in Sri Lanka's legislature. Another highlight from Daily News. Domestic war crimes inquiry. UN in talks with government over technical support. The UN is holding discussions with the Sri Lankan government to determine specific areas where the government would need technical support from the UN with regard to the domestic war crimes inquiry. Another highlight from Daily News. Illegal to arrest Basil Council. The fundamental rights case filed by former Economic Development Minister Basil Rajapaksa was taken up for hearing before the Supreme Court yesterday. Rajapaksa, Ramesh D. Silva PC, counsel appearing for Rajapaksa, told court that it was illegal to arrest and remand him and that the allegations against him could have been investigated without arresting him. More highlights from Daily News. Upul can be arrested on several counts. DV Upul banned from leaving country. The Colombo Chief Magistrate Court yesterday banned the Southern Provincial Councillor DV Upul from leaving the country. He made this directive following a complaint by Criminal Investigation Department officials. Power and Energy State Minister Palitha Rangabandara yesterday requested the Inspector General of Police to take action against Southern Provincial Councillor DV Upul. We brought you the paper highlights from today's newspapers, and we will bring you more tomorrow.